All right, let's get into this. We're going to break down a story that's all about a reality literally built on code, a world where truth isn't what is, but what everyone agrees is. And right at the heart of it all, you've got one person who decides to break the most important rule there is, a choice that could unravel everything. And it all kicks off with this, just a simple glitched out line of system text. Now, in a world where the phrase consensus achieved is supposed to be as regular and reliable as your own heartbeat, this little error message, well, that's the shot that starts the whole thing. It's the first tiny crack in the very foundation of reality. So to really get why that one error is such a huge deal, we first have to understand the world of Neo-Kashi. See, here, reality isn't just there. It's something that's manufactured. It's the product of this massive blockchain-like system. Every single thing that happens, every memory you have, it all has to be agreed upon and then written into existence. So yeah, let's break down how this whole thing actually works. At the very core of this system, you have the validators. Now, don't just think of them as coders or programmers. Oh no, they're more like the high priests of reality itself. Their entire job is to look at proposed changes to history, to what's true, and then give it their digital stamp of approval. It's their collective agreement, their consensus, that literally makes things real. And the process, it's designed to be absolutely perfect, totally stable. First, a new block of history gets proposed. Then, the validators check it out. They all give it their digital signature. And once enough of them agree, that's the quorum, bam, reality updates for every single person. It's clean, it's simple, and it's supposed to be unbreakable. Or so they thought. Because this perfect little system is about to get tested in a big way. And here it is. This is the test. The whole story catches fire when our main character, a validator named Vera, gets an order. But this isn't just some routine patch or a simple update. Nah, this is a command that makes her question the entire reason for her job. The order comes straight from the top, from Cairo of the Hash Council. Roll back the slum anomaly. And what was this anomaly? It was an act of hope. Some people had managed to redistribute food to the starving. But the council? They see this unapproved, organic act of kindness as a bug in the system. A bug that needs to be deleted from history. So when Vera actually opens up the proposed change to see what she's signing off on, the stakes just become terrifyingly real. This isn't just lines of code. She's looking at the human cost. If she validates this, the slums go back to starving. A woman named May, who had just returned home, will have never come back at all. And a young boy named Aru, he'll just be listed as non-existent, erased. And that's the moment it hits her. This is her horrifying realization. She's not being asked to just confirm a fact or fix a bug. No, this isn't validation. This is a digital execution order for people, for their memories, and for any hope they had. So this is where things start to get really weird. See, in our world, if you delay making a decision, things might just get put on pause for a bit. But in Neo-Kashi, a delay in reaching consensus is like a tear in the fabric of the universe. Just by hesitating, just by not immediately signing off, Vera causes reality itself to start fraying at the edges. And you start to see these little signs right away. Small, deeply unsettling glitches. There's a woman in the slums, right? She's holding a piece of bread, the very symbol of the hope Vera's trying to save, and for a split second, it turns to ash in her hands before flickering back. The world is getting shaky. And the glitches aren't just physical, they're happening inside people's heads. They start to experience two contradictory histories at the exact same time. A man literally sees his loved one, me, both alive right in front of him and also being taken away. The system's conflict is becoming real, human torment. Which brings us right to the core question of this whole story. This entire reality is built on the idea of fast, unanimous agreement. So what happens when just one tiny but essential gear in that massive machine, one validator, just refuses to turn? That one single no is about to push this world right to its breaking point. Okay, so here we are, the tipping point. Every other validator has already signed. The whole system is just sitting there waiting on Vera, and her one single choice is about to have world-shattering consequences. And she does it. She hits reject block. For the very first time in the entire history of this perfectly designed reality, a validator actively says no. The system was never, ever built for this. It has absolutely no idea what to do. And the result is immediate. It's catastrophic. The basic laws of physics just start to break. Gravity flickers on and off. Raindrops freeze in midair. People look up and see two suns in the sky. And maybe worst of all, human memory completely shatters as people are trying to live with multiple conflicting pasts all at once. It's chaos. This chaos leads to the Hush Console's single greatest fear, something called a chain fork. Basically, it's a total split in the official history, creating two separate, competing realities. For a group that is obsessed with control and a single stable truth, this is the ultimate nightmare. It means they've completely lost their monopoly on what's real. So, with the world literally tearing itself apart around her, Vera makes her final move. She takes off her Validator crown, the very symbol of her power and her place in the system, and she physically unplugs herself. Her final declaration is as simple as it is powerful. She will not be part of a system that forces her to validate lies. But right when you think you've seen the climax, right when you think the world is ending, the whole story gets turned on its head. What looked like a system failure, a crisis caused by one person's conscience, was actually something else entirely. We cut back to Cairo, the leader of the Hash Council, and he's just watching all this chaos unfold. But he's not panicking. He's not angry. He's smiling. From where he's sitting, this system failure wasn't a bug at all. And then we get the first big twist. He just says, "Good. Now we know which validators are disloyal." The whole thing, the order to erase the slums, it was never about fixing a bug. It was a loyalty test, a purge designed to find and eliminate any validator who might think for themselves. The system wasn't built for truth, it was built for obedience. But hold on, there's one last absolutely shocking twist. Vera checks her status, and she finds out her validator role hasn't been deleted. No, it's been transferred. And who's the recipient? Aru, the very same boy the council just tried to wipe from existence. The whole story ends on this really haunting line from this mysterious entity called the Ghost Node. And it's speaking to Aru. It reveals that Aru was never just some random kid. He is a Genesis key, and even more important, he is the missing validator. His very existence is a threat to the council's control, which, wow, that just recasts everything we thought we knew. And that leaves us with this final, really thought-provoking question. Vera's choice, it didn't lead to some clean, happy ending. It created a split, a leap into a chaotic unknown. So it forces us to ask ourselves, if you found out your entire reality was a carefully built lie, would you choose to protect that stable, predictable truth? Or would you risk it all for a chaotic but real freedom?